So we have a question here. Says solve 4x minus 2 open brackets x minus 3 equals 8. Now once you see a question which mark solve, it means find out what number the letter is. If you watch this whole line, we only have one type of letter from the alphabet, x. You have x here and here. That means x is actually a number in disguise. It's wearing a mask, and the mask is the letter X. So we have to try and use the clues and figure out this mystery, what number X is. And whatever number X is, it would be that number here and that number also here. So here's how we do it. In maths, I'll explain how I'll work this out. First of all, I would look at the pieces or the chunks in maths. Those pieces are called terms. Terms are numbers and letters separated by a plus or a minus. So I see a minus here, that's a separator, so I'm going to continue. It's a 2 here. Now if you see the 2 and the brackets here, it means 2 is being multiplied to this brackets. And the brackets is like a whole cage. So it's a 2 times this entire cage. Now, plus and minus are separators, but times and divide is glue, and that kind of joins it up. So now it's joined up together. We have a cage where we have an X and we have a separator and a 3. So inside the cage we have a minus 3. I taught the class how to circle their terms. Every term has a sign in front of it. So this minus belongs to the 3, not to the x. This minus belongs to the 2, not to the 4x. So this cage have 2 terms in it. But this 2 is being multiplied to the cage. So what we have here is this giant term, which includes the minus 2. I'm circling it this way for you to see the different pieces of the sum. So we have a piece which is 4x. We have this big piece which is minus 2 times a cage. And inside the cage we have these 2 pieces. And here we just have a positive 8. Well, we don't even write the plus. We just write it as 8. Okay. First thing we're going to do in tackling this sum is this number minus 2 outside the cage. You're going to take that minus 2 and multiply it to the terms inside the cage. This green arrow means multiply. It's a minus 2 multiplied to the x and a minus 2 multiplied to the minus 3. So let's just work out that, and the rest of stuff will just fall down like Tetris. Okay, here we go. A minus 2 times a x would be written as minus 2x. Because if you write a number right next to a letter, it means you're multiplying it. Next, that was our first green arrow. We have a second green arrow. Let's look at the answer for our second green arrow. Minus 2 times minus 3. A negative 2 times a negative 3 gives me a 6. A positive 6, because if you're multiplying numbers with the same sign, you get a positive answer. So this is our first answer for the first green arrow, and this here is our second answer for the second green arrow. Okay, and now let's just bring down the equal sign, bring down the 8, and also let's bring down the 4x. Okay, so now this is how our sum gets easier. Now let's circle our terms again. Alright, I have a 4x, I have a separator, I have a 2x, I have a separator, I have a 6, I have a fence. Equal sign is like a fence separating this side from that side. Now we have an 8. So now let me circle the terms. I have an 8 here, I have a 6, and this plus belongs to the 6. I have a 2x, and that minus belongs to the 2x. And I have a 4x which belongs, which is just 4x. Alright, Now what we're looking for is like terms. Okay? Terms that have the same letter are called like terms. So this 4x have a letter x, and this term here, minus 2x, have a letter x. So these are like terms. And if you have like terms, you can merge them together and turn it into one term just by working it out. 4x take away 2x. That's like 4 fingers take away 2 fingers. 2 fingers, right? 4x take away 2x, the answer is going to be 2x. Okay? So when this work out together, it just comes down here as 2x. Let's just bring down the rest of this stuff. They drop down like Tetris. Plus 6 equal to 8. Let's just see how much terms we have again. We have a term here, and then we have 6 and an 8. These terms have no letter, so I'll color them red. They are like terms. Terms that have no letters could be like each other. They are like terms. And I'll color code this one green. So what we're going to do is group our like terms together. I'm going to take this plus 6 and I'm going to carry it across over the fence and drop it over here behind the 8. But whenever a term crosses the fence, it will change sign. So what we have now is the 2x still here. This jump across, so it's no longer here to write down. We have the 8 still here, and the plus 6 is now behind as a minus 6. But don't write it here, write it in the next line, because every line is a picture of our sum as it changes. So here it changes, and now this is a picture of the change. Okay, we have like terms, just plain old numbers. 8 take away 6, that gives us an answer of 2. Don't write the answer 2 here, write the answer below. 8 take away 6, that changes the sum to 2, and this side is 2x. At this point you could just use common sense. 2 times what number gives you 2? You just know already. 2 times 1 gives you 2. That means x must be the number 1. That don't mean x is always 1. It means in this sum, x is 1. If you get an x sum, sometimes you'll get a different answer for x. You might get x is 2 or 3 or minus 7 or all kind of different numbers. Just a hell of a coincidence that in this sum, x is 1. Because a lot of students just tell me, so, and x is 1? Not all the time. It could be any number. So what we do now, we circle terms again, just to explain what is happening. I have a 2x here, and I have a 2. In this situation now, what I do is I need to rip this term, like tear it. If I rip that term and I take that 2, I move it diagonally across underneath. Not like this where I move a whole term. Here I'm actually tearing this term, like tearing it. Whenever you tear a term, you have to move it in a different way. Move it diagonally. Some people call this cross multiplying. So we cross multiply that 2 across. And so what we have now in our picture is x alone on this side. And on this side we have this 2 upstairs. And we have this 2 downstairs. 2 over 2, that's 2 divided by 2, is 1. So the answer is 1. Write the answer underneath and let the x come down here. And that's how you finish your sum. X is equal to 1.